to Ganesh Institute channel. So in today's video we are going to discuss or going to pick another two topics from units and measurements, and that are conversion of units and deduction of a dimensional formula. So let's see what all these are about. So here this question is based on deduction of a formula. So as you have studied so many formulas like energy is half mv square, right? So how we can say that this is energy equals mv square if we talk about this mlt minus 1 raised to power 2. So mass is m, velocity is lt minus 1 raised to power 2. So without having any constant term, if we want to prove that energy is mv square, then we use this concept of dimensional formula. How we do so? Let me tell you. So this is a question where you are given with the time period of a simple pendulum. So when you know in oscillatory motion, pendulum which is hanging through a thread like structure is moving to and fro, right? So the time period which it is taking depends on length, mass and acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so what you need to do in order to deduce or derive a formula, take that unit or quantity, physical quantity, for which question is asking to deduce the formula, that is time period t. What you need to do, because it is depending on, we don't know whether it is directly depending or inversely depending, but we are writing here proportional, depending upon which quantity, length L, mass m, acceleration due to gravity g. You have to suppose the powers, because we don't know, like if it is energy and mv square is there, we don't know whether m will be having power 1 and v will be having 2. So these we need to find out, right? Power. So let's suppose this will be your first step. Firstly, convert this statement into a form, form having units. Mark proportionality sign. Now you, because you don't know what constant will be there, because whether it will be half, 1 by root 2, what it will be there, we don't know. Let's suppose it as k. Now this is your main equation. All you need to find is a, b and c and your formula will be ready. So first step would be, after this, mark down all the dimensions. For time, you know, it is t. This is constant, we are neglecting it. So for length it is L, for mass it is m, and this is acceleration due to gravity. That means, see, be it due to gravity or any other acceleration, it is always change in velocity upon time, right? So change in velocity will also give you a number which will be in meter per second. That means it is a velocity. So you'll write here lt minus 1, right? Velocity by t, t2, right? So this is lt minus 1 and here is another t, so lt minus 2. This is your form. Now collectively make mlt form. So m is b, m raised to power b, L is what? Here your L raised to power is a, whereas here L raised to power c. So base same, power add in multiplication, and for t you are having minus 2c, right? So now you have to apply principle of homogeneity, which states that if you are having two-dimensional formula in equals, that means those are equal, then you have to equate. Let's say you have m raised to power a, b, L raised to power b, t raised to power c on left hand side, and on right hand side you have something like this, for example. So you can equate it according to principle of homogeneity. Then your m raised to power a will be equated with m raised to power 2. That means your a would be 2, b would be 3 and c would be 4, right? If you compare these things. Similarly, if you apply here, you can see on left hand side there is no m, no L, only t is there, right? Now compare. Here m raised to power b, here m raised to power 0. So b would be 0. Here L raised to power A plus C. On left hand side L raised to power 0. And on right hand side you have minus 2C in terms of T raised to power. And here you have T raised to power 1. So C would be minus 1 by 2 from here. Then A would be, if you take C to right hand side, minus C, that means minus of minus 1 by 2, that means plus 1 by 2, right? So A would be 1 by 2. Now you have got all these three values. You can substitute in this form. So it would be, your time will be K L raised to power B, which is 0, M raised to power, L raised to power A, which is half, M raised to power 0, which is B, and G raised to power C, which is minus half, right? So M raised to power 0 will become 1. So you are left with L raised to power half divided by G raised to power half, because you can take this minus power into denominator to make it positive. And you can collectively write it as L by G raised to power 1 by 2. And you know the concept of surd, that if you are having this 2 as and n is your surd, so that would be 1 by n. So if you have square root of 2, it would be 2 raised to power 1 by 2. If you have cube root of 2, that will be 2 raised to power 1 by 3, right? You know this concept. So similarly, this is half, that means square root. So your time will be K root L by G. In your pendulum part, you will see that actually, according to the derivation, time is 2 pi root L by G for a particular bob. So you can see that K is 2 pi. We can't judge the constant term. We can't find it through the formula, but rest is all fine. I hope you got this, that how we can deduce a particular formula. Similarly, another thing is conversion of units. So I told you that, we studied in our last video what are the system of units, different system, MKS, CGS, FPS. So for some of the units, let's say you have velocity, and velocity is in meter per second. But if you want to change it into CGS system, it would be, you will write here meter per second, and in meters there are 1 upon 100, 1 meter equals 100 centimeter, and second is all okay. So this would be 100 centimeter per second, right? But what about those sort of thing when you have to change urge into something, dyne into something? So you might be wondering, what are these terminologies, urge and dyne? So basically, for some of the units, let's say force, it is mass into acceleration. And mass unit, if you talk about SI unit, mass is in kilogram, and acceleration is velocity upon time, that means meter per second square, right? So if you convert it into CGS system, that would be gram centimeter per second square. But this CGS system is called dyne. Okay, a terminology is given to it. Similarly, if you talk about energy, so energy, its unit is joule. But apart from that, if we talk about um, half mv square. Similarly, for force, unit is Newton, and Newton is this, 1 kilogram meter per second square is 1 Newton. Similarly, for joules, half mv square you can say. So mass is kilogram, velocity is meter per second, but because it is having square, so meter square per second square, right? If you have already marked per, so no need to put minus sign across. Now, if you see, if you make it into CGS system, so it would be gram centimeter square per second square, right? But this is called urge. Okay, and in 1 Newton there are 10 is to power 5 dynes, whereas in 1 joule there are 10 is to power 7 urge. So how we can find this, that is the main concept. So let me tell you, there is a formula for conversion of units. Okay, bear with me. So the formula goes like, what you need to do, let's say question has asked you to convert 1 Newton into its CGS unit, that is of course dyne. So you have to find out, firstly written on the left hand side given values and the values to be converted here on the right hand side. Okay, now everything which is given will be in the form of 1, N1, M1, L1, T1. Here N2, M2, L2, T2. Now firstly find out which physical quantity is question asking about. Newton, that is force. Force we just talked about, that it is kilogram meter per second square, that means M. So gram is M. This L, T. So M, L, T minus 2, right? Now compare it with M raised to power A, L raised to power B, T raised to power C. Okay? So what will be your A, B, C? A would be M raised to power A, M raised to power 1. So A would be 1. L raised to power B, L raised to power 1. So B would be 1. T raised to power C, T raised to power minus 2. So C would be minus 2. Right? These are your A, B and C. Now N1 will be this constant term which you need to convert. 1 Newton. That means N1 would be 1. Then M1, L1, T1 will be the system of unit which is given to you. 1 Newton. We know that Newton is in MKS and dyne is in CGS. So we will write this is mass, that means kilogram, because this is MKS system and this is CGS system which needs to be converted. So gram meter second, and this will be, we don't know N2 what it would be. We have to find out, and this will be gram centimeter second, right? So the formula is N2 equals N1 M1 upon M2 raised to power A, L1 upon L2 raised to power B, and T1 upon T2 raised to power C. Okay, now put all the values. N1 is 1. Here M1 is kg, M2 is gram, raised to power A is 1, L1 is meter, L2 is centimeter, raised to power B which is 1, T1 is second, T2 is second because time remains same, raised to power C which is minus 2, right? So from here you can say that if you solve it, change it into one thing. So you can say, because you have to convert it into CGS, 1 kilogram is 1000 grams, right? Raised to power 1. 1 meter is 100 centimeter, raised to power 1. And these got cancelled out. Second is cancelled with second, 1 raised to power anything will be 1. So now gram is cancelled with gram, centimeter with centimeter. What you have got is, so 1000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros, right? So you have got, the given was Newton. So 1 Newton would be 10 to the power 5 times. I hope you understood this, and if so, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Check your understanding and do some more question on these concepts. If you will find any doubt, then post it in the comment box. I'll try to resolve them as soon as I can. Okay, so take care. Bye bye.